My Geminis, welcome to the Twilight Zone. You guys are going to have such an interesting week, and I know that it's going to be like a lot of really like mind-bending, mind-boggling events happening because the sun is conjuncting Uranus in your 12th house. So it's really going to be a rich week to not only confirm what it is that you guys are experiencing in your dream life, but it's also going to be a week that is giving high priestess. So please, Geminis, if you don't already have some method, which would be kind of crazy seeing that you guys are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is going through the end of Aries. So we're at the third decan of Aries, moving into Taurus after being foggy and maybe like unsure of what was going to work for your message, for your marketing, for your techniques. You guys, I think you're getting a lot of answers in dreams this week. Mars is at 9 degrees on Monday, ruled by the moon, and the moon is moving through Leo. So I would say for Geminis, it's time to start communicating a bit more theatrically. You guys are already very theatrical, but you have a lot of intuitive wisdom and insights that have been streaming in all throughout the last week. And it's allowing for people to really handle any sort of grief, any sort of pain that they've been processing, having to transmute the energy. You guys are giving us answers. So we need your answers. Please give it to us, Geminis. Don't hold back. Don't be greedy and selfish. We know that you guys have dealt with a lot and you've had to really go with the flow, ride the waves. You've had to mature in ways that are making you money. They're bringing you really sweet blessings, maybe blessings in disguise. Maybe you've had to deal with actual like settling of debts, coming to terms with things that weren't looking good in your reality. But through doing that, you guys have a lot of intelligence to give us. And the moon at 1 degrees Leo is a divorced husband and wife enjoying each other's company. So it's speaking to the second wind, the second life, that new life that comes at the end of a cycle, and how I would say we can lighten up around what didn't pan out, what was not joyful, what we had to deal with anyways, what we had to really get through disappointment and grief with, and how it's going to help heal humanity, how it's going to help bring others into a state of intelligence and emotional intelligence and ancestral truth and ancestral insight. So let's look at Mars Day. I have a sense that you guys are having some really significant, unexpected encounters. Let's see. Pluto in Aquarius. So your 6th house of everyday events is in Scorpio. And I would say that if you've had any contracts come apart, these are things that belong in your book. They belong in whatever it is that you're writing and or making like music. If you guys are working with music, these are motifs that you guys are experiencing and no one can deliver them like you all can. We have the Page of Fire. And I think that you guys can allow for the shenanigans, the mischief, to be a playful way that you interact with this energy. And I would say rise above any drama. Yeah, you guys saw the depths of someone. You went to the depths with someone. And they were someone whose the truth about them was not ever really clear. They were able to kind of like shapeshift and convince you that they were really, there for you, a real one, but they may not have been a real one. I'm so sorry for you guys, Gemini. So Mars on Mars Day, 10 degrees Aries. Roots of a tree entwined around the statue of a nude woman. So there has been something that you've been growing. And while maybe you felt dormant around this project, it's like you're getting this second life, you're getting this perspective shift, and it's aligning you to a lot of sustained abundance, residual income, relationships that are unconditional, which feels really sweet for Geminis. I want to look at Mercury Day. You guys are the rulers of Mercury. Mercury is out of shadow. Thank you, Mercury, for giving us and healing us with our social connections for Geminis. Chiron is at 21 degrees in your 11th house. So maybe if you have emerged with a new identity in the past 3 years and, you know, you're more, I would say, adamant and persistent about this version of you, you guys are starting to heal issues around regret, remorse for following your heart, for being true to yourself. And it's starting to attract people, but you might have some tests of character. Like, you might have some people who on this Mercury Day make you question whether or not you can be the authentic you. But the people who love you and who need you are going to be celebrating you. They pray for you. They definitely do. People aren't praying for you because they're like, oh my gosh, Gemini, they're so lost and confused. I would say that in the family dynamic, you're having a lot of your concerns fade away because you're seeing that you have to be you. You have to emit your own unique frequency. Gemini, whatever was broken, I think that that's something that you might have support. You might have someone come through and help you repair a very needed item. Maybe it's a car, maybe it's your phone. I see this, there are these angelic looking beings, and one of them is like, almost, it looks like she's reaching for his wand, and she has one to replace it with. So you might have a sweet angel come through and assist you. You might just get your flowers. You might get the congratulations that you've been hoping for and expecting. You might get invitations and opportunities that are bringing in abundance, because the Sun conjunct Uranus was happening for you in the realm of the mystical, the subconscious. So whatever was in your subconscious, if there were things that were bothering you, that would be something that you had to get a second life on. You had to breathe new intentions into it and grow up and see things for what they were rather than what you needed them to be. The version of you that needed to be someone is really kind of like shaking off that energy, because you have the time and the space that you need to really, and you have the following. You have the people who are asking you for more. You have the people who are interacting with what it is that you do, and it's bringing you abundance. It's bringing you wisdom to know how to work your wand. You know how to work the wand. So let's take it to Jupiter Day. With Jupiter ahead of the Sun, I would say that it's giving a lot of optimism. You guys are turning into Scorpio, who is smiling at people in the grocery store line, and I would say that you know that you can go the distance with whoever is showing up for you now because of who you are and how you can direct things. You're getting signs, you're getting synchronicities, you feel like you're working with a team, and it feels like there's this really beautiful synergy that is harmonizing things for you guys. So let's look at Jupiter at 27 degrees Taurus. A man sculpting hedges into animal form. So playfulness is also going to really inspire and activate you. Being able to reframe things, to, I would say, take the not toxic optimism, because we don't want to deny what we've been through. That's a part of what people need from you, Gemini, is to know what you've been through, to hear the truth, to hear the naked truth, as Emma Chamberlain had in one of her recent videos. People want to see what it's like to be you. And the more you show that, the more you're really just radiating that energy, you're breaking through the confines of who you felt you needed to be. You're going to see the collapse of things that were not sustainable. They were toxic. And when you face that, you entertain the toxic behavior, you entertain toxic people, you have the compassion to share with others who really need that. Yeah, some people were really like not nice. And it's okay, because they didn't understand you, and you maybe weren't communicating from a very sincere and authentic place, but that really feels like childhood. It feels like maybe pre-verbal, you weren't able to do the things that you really needed to do, that you really felt your heart was opening to, and that does scar the heart. It leads to a need to really like open the heart. This is actually a metaphysical exercise and technique to open the petals of the heart. Gemini. So when the moon is in Virgo, it's going to shine a light on childhood wounds and things that you need to still work to forgive. But when you have a whole community behind you and you're activating your voice, podcast, vlog, TikTok, whatever it is that you need to do, even if it's just like you're finding people who you resonate with, just know that there is room for you, Gemini. There's room for your message. And yeah, you got your arms folded across your chest, but it's time. It's time to wake up and to deliver these very healing, beautiful, supportive messages for other people. Get on it. What else are you going to do with your time? You know, you can only scroll for so long before it's time to charge the phone. And whenever it's time to charge the phone and maybe drop the technology, the thoughts that are coming up that are really leading you down rabbit holes, those are the ones that you want to actually start to express. You want to start to open up and share them. Maybe it's like a Telegram group that you start and you just start to share memes on that, and you build some sort of audience just based on your ability to find content, to gather it, to organize it, and to show this diamond mind of yours. So with Pisces, on Venus Day, I just got the idea to look at where Neptune is. Venus is at 22 degrees and Neptune is at 29 degrees Pisces at 22 seconds. You cannot make this up. So I think that there's going to be like whispers of what's next for you come through. Yeah, you're moving on. Wow, Gemini. It looks like you've had a really big emotional disruptive thing come to fore. Like, I don't want to just be optimistic because the Sun conjunct Uranus is happening in your 12th house. So like, you might have tapped a nerve that really led you down to some dark truths, dark night of the soul, and you're having to take perspective on it. I see some healing with the mother as a big one. Moon is still in Virgo, and the South Node in Libra is your 5th house. So some things from childhood that were burdensome, perplexing, you couldn't really wrap your head around it, they're coming out, and you need to heal and nurture and be the first responder for your heart, because whenever we're remembering things that hurt us, it still hurts. It's not that it stops hurting, it just hurts in a new way. Maybe it's a little bit less. Mercury is going to be at 2 degrees Taurus, completely out of shadow, and our thoughts are going to be based on our feelings, which we won't be able to ignore. We really need to massage. There's going to be all these twos in the chart that are asking us to really align what we feel rather than being reactive. First respond to self, and the ways that we treat ourselves are going to set standards for other people of how we expect for them to show up. All right, Gemini, take it easy. Don't snap at people at this time because of the fact that there's so much that's out of your immediate view. It's like you have the capacity to look around you, but you can't see above unless if you intentionally step away from whatever it is that was really hard, you went deep on, you're tending to inner child stuff, and you need to be able to say, okay, this is where I am, this is where my ancestors are. I think that the Saturn at this net 8 degree all week is going to be speaking to decisions we're making that are different from the generations that came before us, but we're making them for our heart, which is what makes us strong. Excuse me. So if anyone's kind of like full of like nonsense this week, I think that it'll be very clear, but you're not going to be as entangled. You're not going to feel the need to, walk with your tail between your legs and do what they're asking of you. You're going to have more of a sense of, what you've been through. People can't gaslight you anymore. They can't carry you into this muddled confusion because you are changing who you are. You're changing it by validating your own self first. You don't have people outside of you who could really sway you as much as they once might have been able to, because you see who was there when you had to go deep. You see who was there whenever things weren't working out, and based on this overwhelming ringing of truth with Mercury on the Sun with the stellium of planets in your 12th house, what's true for you. And we're not getting confused and entangled with other people's truths because of what's true for them and what they need to face, and how, as much as we want to lead the horse to water, we can't make the horse drink, okay? So don't take it personally if people cannot meet you where you are. just look around and see who's there. See who's commenting the most on your posts. See who's always looking at your stories and sending you love. How can you set the standard to treat yourself like that person? To make yourself feel validated first in what it is that you're doing. And if you don't really feel the conviction right now, I would say take some space away from whatever it is that you might have been really shaping and refining, because you do need a different approach. You do need to take a different perspective before you can move forward and see more progress. So even if you're like obsessed right now at the gym, see if you could take a yoga class, see if you could do swimming, see if you could switch up your flow so that you don't get stagnant. That's what we are avoiding right now with Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius. It's like we were being fed this pulse of empowerment, and it was really allowing for our day-to-day life to feel good. But now we have to switch it up. We have to spread ourselves out, not thin, but we want to make sure that we're covered. We're covered in all of our bases. So on Sunday, the sun at 29 degrees Taurus, I would say that there's going to be something that feels really like light, affirming. You're going to feel just a sense of joviality because of Jupiter at 28 degrees. It's going to be a culmination moment on this Sunday with Neptune at 29 degrees and Taurus at 29 degrees. So we have Neptune activated in Pisces and this earth element. We're seeing some dreams come true. King of water. We're seeing someone who is really smoking hot just show up with a bouquet of flowers and a bottle of blueberry juice. My husband and I don't drink. And they're giving you attention. They're feeding you grapes. You are having a moment. It could just be in your dreams, but our dreams are how we manifest reality. So it's like, if you're able to dream up something like that, that means you're onto something good, because your subconscious is delivering you really nice messages. So let's say that you are so sure that it's someone specific who you've had an on and off with, attached, codependent situationship. That has to go. Venus is at the third decan of Taurus, so don't let anyone who reminds you of someone who you didn't work out with in the past, be sure that you're taking extra steps to not be codependent, to not care too much about what someone thinks, to where it's like, you're going to dye your hair pink for them, or you're going to chop your hair off for them. Like, make sure that you really have your heart behind a lot of your decisions, because it's going to be a test of faith. And the more, just without needing to get validation that you are about something, the more convinced you are to do it, the more convinced you are to take that extra step faithfully, not knowing what the outcome will be, but knowing that you've done everything that you felt really honestly like doing. I see that not only is your message going to hit other people, but you're going to attract people and eyes on you that they match your journey. They match, like, leaving something that didn't really prove to meet our cravings, to meet our need, to satisfy our soul. And it's like the valued wisdom of the crone and the freshness of the maiden coming together in this, I want to say conference, because you're getting to meet and speak with and interact with people who are leaders in what it is that you're doing. And this is not only convincing you of a new place for your inner child to hang out and be, but your inner child is feeling the healing. It's feeling the belonging with all of this quirkiness, with being uniquely you. And it does feel like a spiritual achievement come the sun at 29 degrees, which is Sunday for most people. So my lovely, lovely Geminis, please be sure to record your dreams. Have a dream journal this week if you don't have one already, to document what is coming up for you, because it is something that has been playing out in your subconscious, and it's time to turn the page, turn the chapter, start to just ground all of these things into physical reality, into physical form, with being theatrical, being playful, and watch how your inner child gets that nurturing and that healing that they are calling for. Have an amazing week. Aloha.